All right, we recording. All right, we in there. All right.
Like swimwear.
Welcome to TC's Gaming World. No.
With Chris and Adrian.
I wonder if he was gonna do it. I wonder if he was gonna do it.
I can't even do what I want to say, dog. This dude tripping. I just started this channel and everything, and today we decided that we would do some theory crafting and talking about one of our favorite games. As you can see in some of our background, Final Fantasy VII.
You need a better mic too.
Get you a mic. That's right.
What happened?
Get your mic right.
Man, look, y'all can't be dissing my tech. I'm doing this thing, all right? Like, y'all can't just sit here and just diss my tech for the next whatever.
I got you, bro. My bad, bro.
It's not fair, man. I'm new to this.
Oh, my bad.
He's new to it. He's new to it. All right, so, because I can't barely hear you. So, what was you saying?
I was saying I just started my channel and everything. We don't talk about our favorite game, Final Fantasy VII. And we ain't gonna be discussing the remake and the old Final Fantasy. So alert, I guess, if you need to, you hate spoilers, you might not want to watch this. So.
Spoilers for the old Final Fantasy?
For everything Final Fantasy VII, everything.
Everything Final Fantasy. No, we gotta do all Final Fantasy.
Everything is on the table. Well, for this one, we doing 7. Like
somebody has not played the old 7 by now.
I'm just saying, like, stuff can come up. Just really got into it. So
yeah,
kill yourself.
So what's the first topic of the night for the Final Fantasy VII? Wait.
So we're gonna start it off like we're gonna try to give each other a turn. So, what does Final Fantasy VII mean to you? This is the first.
What does Final Fantasy VII mean to me?
Yeah, what the game symbolize for you? For a lot of people, they hop into it and think it's one of the greatest RPGs ever made. What does it mean to you?
I know that was a lot. It was a lot of Final Fantasy. A lot of people's first Final Fantasy game. It was definitely my first Final Fantasy game. I know when I first played that game, I couldn't get past the damn first disc. Like literally, I couldn't get. Actually, I beat the first disc, or no. I couldn't get past the first disc at all. I didn't actually beat Final Fantasy VII until when I was in like high school. I didn't beat that shit when I first got it. And then like I used to try to put in the second disc to try to get past the first disc without beating that shit. So I was like, why the fuck can I get past this shit? So I'm just gonna put it in the second disc and try to get past fuck this other shit. And yeah. That was a groundbreaking game when it first came out. So
all right, Adrian.
Well.
Oh, my bad. Before you continue, we have Blue Dragon 1222 on here. That's Chris Jones, and
it's like Blue Dragon. It's your old dude say it.
3 is my homeboy Adrian. Okay.
What is over here dying on Days Gone? That's what I'm doing.
Adrian, now you go ahead. I just had to make sure I let you know.
Hey dog, I'm posting this on YouTube. This shit clean. I like how the background shit going in.
Final Fantasy VII. How shall I count the ways? Man, you know what? Final Fantasy VII for me was the first RPG, I guess you could say, other than Zelda. Which, okay, I had to give that one some credit. Shenmue on like Zelda one, you consider that an RPG, man?
That was an action art. That was an adventure game.
Adventure game. Let's see, Shenmue on Dreamcast.
That was, I don't know what you can count Shenmue. That would be in the same realm of each other.
Yeah, but I'll probably say it was the first turn-based version of whatever you want to call it. I got into Final Fantasy VII kind of interesting. So homeboy Craig. Shout out to Craig if he ever joins this channel.
Yeah, I definitely gotta have Craig on here.
So Craig had Final Fantasy. Well, he had got a PlayStation before I did. I had a Dreamcast, so I got like all of his Dreamcast stuff because he just kind of pretty much got rid of it when he got a PlayStation. Right, he got rid of all of it. So he got. I guess that was like the first game he had got was Final Fantasy. Yeah. And I rolled over to his house and I was like, man, what are you playing? He's like, man, I'm playing this game called Final Fantasy 7. I'm like, oh, all right. But he was dying. Like, he ain't equipped no weapons. He ain't equipped no armor. You know, Craig ain't the type of gamer to like to game for real. He just put it in and just do whatever. So I guess he got frustrated with it. And he was like, man, I'm about to get rid of this game. I was like, man, give me that game. He was like, I'll sell it to you for $15.
I ain't mean to post that on.
Yeah, he posted that. He had sold me that game for $15. I said, okay. So I took it to the house. Well, no, I ain't take it to the house. I stayed at his house. I paid for it. He went out to play ball. I was like, man, let me check this game out. Oh, he was like, cool. And I was like, hey, man, you notice you got this thing called Ifrit in your menu? He's like, man, what's that? I was like, yeah, I put it in this little slot and this menu showed up. He was like, yeah, press it. And then, you know, it had a whole summon in there. He was like, man, what the heck, man? How did you do that? I was like, man, you got all kinds of stuff in here that you ain't never equipped.
He wasn't summoning nothing.
No summons, no weapons, no, like, none of the material. I was like, Craig, man, give me this game. So I had jumped into it, man, never turned back. Never turned back. Never turned back.
Actually, you know, for a long time, I didn't even play RPGs. It was
true.
Games, you know, action stuff every now and then, but I was big in sports and fighting games. And when me and Adrian met, he was into Final Fantasy, and he was playing 8.
Oh yeah.
At the time, 8 was when
a shitty ass game.
I stayed over.
I was just playing. I love Final Fantasy 8. I hate that gameplay though.
His house during that summer, from time to time, and he was running through 8, and I just watched him play it. I was like, you know, I didn't really know what any of that stuff was about. RPGs, the turn-based stuff, all that. And he was like, yeah, man, you ought to give it a try, you know. And then, you know, he told me about 7. And that was when I said, okay, I gotta try to copy this. I'm gonna see what it's all about, because I thought 8 was all right. I was like, okay. And then I picked up 7, and I finally played it, and I was like, bro, like, it just opened up a whole new world for me. After that, I think I started loving RPGs just as much as him. Like, and every day I was like, yo, man, what's something else you played? You know, getting on his nerves about every other RPG that ever came out that he played, like Grandia, and, you know.
Grandia was the shit.
They need to make a new. They waved.
Grandia was indeed the shit.
Yeah.
So y'all just talking about y'all got y'all love from RPGs because of Final Fantasy 7, or?
For me, definitely.
I would say so. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7. I probably would have never even tried playing RPG.
Damn, Final Fantasy 7 was that? Well, you know what? I can see that, because I can see a lot of people, you know,
I never touched them. I never touched any RPGs for Final Fantasy 7. That was the one.
Yeah. You know what? That's the same fucking thing for me too, because my mama, she had bought Final Fantasy 7, and I played like sports games, Resident Evil, and fighting games and shit like that. Before I played Final Fantasy, I still hated Final Fantasy 7 when I had first got it though, because I was like, I can't get past this fucking first disc. But it was still a very immersive game at the same time, because I like the characters, even if I didn't even get a chance to like. Well, you laughing, Foley?
Like bad language, man.
Oh, my bad. Oh, you can't have bad. You don't want bad language on your
I don't.
Oh, nigga. Oh, shit. Well, so.
No, I'm talking about they probably gonna strike the video, be like, yeah, you got too much bad language on here, player.
Oh man, no.
I'm out, man. Put some bleeps in there, man.
But anyway,
I heard words.
Well, yeah, I was playing Resident Evil and stuff like that, but like the characters, we even meeting just Barrett, Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud in that first disc, they was just like some great characters. And then when I had finally started playing Final Fantasy VII, getting through the game was actually when I was in, you know what? It might have been middle school and not high school. Yeah, it was middle school, and started going through the game. And that's when I had actually first beat it. And that was my shit.
Yeah, oh yeah. When I beat it, I was just like, man, like, like, bro, all that work that you put in, you're like, okay, cool.
I know everybody considered that game their, the best Final Fantasy. So a lot of people say 6 too. A lot of people say 6 is the best Final Fantasy, but a lot of people say that 7 is their favorite Final Fantasy game because just because the characters. Even 6 had a lot of great characters too, but 7, had the infamous Sephiroth, which everybody fucking loves.
I would say 7 kind of real 7 just kind of put them on this like, yo, have you saw the Final Fantasy series? Have you played the Final Fantasy series?
And I mean, you think about even the graphics, because like I said, that was PlayStation 1. Yep. Straight out the box.
The first time they had 3D graphics.
Right, 3D graphics, cut scenes like that. It just broke some ground, man.
Yeah, because 6 was 2D.
Yeah.
They went away from the sprites. They had the little 3D models as the little block models.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're gonna kind of dive into the remake.
Man, the remake. Oh no.
You already download going into the remake?
What's funny, for a long time, Adrian and I used to just throw thoughts about what if they ever did a remake. Like literally from ever since we was like 16, 17, we used to always talk about them doing a remake or bringing it back or doing a sequel. And, we never thought it would ever come to fruition, like to actually see it happen. And like we would just look at each other like, bro, we've been talking about this ever since we were kids, and
Well, what actually tripped me out about the whole remake dealio was they kept coming out with all those different games for the compilation or whatever they had.
Oh yeah.
After that they had, I don't know if Dirge Servers came first or Crisis Core came first. One of them came first.
Dirge.
I think Crisis. I think
Dirge came first.
Dirge. I think Dirge might have been first because Dirge was actually. Was Dirge a sequel?
I thought it was Crisis Core.
Dirge, because Dirge was on the console.
Yeah,
on PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Was Dirge was a sequel to 7, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah, it was.
Or did it happen at the same time? I can't remember.
It was a direct sequel because it was after remember Midgard was halfway destroyed and they made their city Edge.
Oh yeah.
It sure was. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Dirge was that sequel. So I mean, they already had the story pretty much written out for Crisis Core, which Crisis Core, that's probably that's definitely one of my favorite Final Fantasy VII games. Probably my favorite Final Fantasy VII compilation game outside the remake. Because that game, Zack was a popular ass character.
I was just afraid on remake that they were gonna really mess it up. I was like, man, don't ruin this. Like, that's my biggest thing. I was like, bro, don't ruin this. And I was like, just do the story like it already was done. And then they chopped it up into everything. I was worried about that. But then I thought, well, maybe this will give a chance for more character development and other stuff like that, which it did, But all right, so when it comes to the remake, we both played it, we both know everything, about it. What did you like about the remake?
Man, I hated it, man. Man, the funny thing, when we first got it, I was like, man, I guess coming from playing the older one, when I envisioned a remake, I envisioned that game remade.
Right.
And that was probably the first thing to catch me off guard was like, okay, it's not that game technically remade, but it's remade and kind of revisioned a whole different way.
Right.
So initially, I was like, I do not like this. I do not like how they're going about it. I didn't like. I mean, I like the gameplay. I like the updated graphics. Definitely like the upgraded music.
Right.
Bar none. But from jump, I was like,
Masashi Hamazo, boy.
oh yeah.
That sound, boy, that nigga can do a soundtrack, boy.
Oh,
that
yeah.
motherfucker. Final Fantasy 13, he did the Final Fantasy 13 soundtrack. Nigga, that Final Fantasy, because 13 got the best soundtrack out of Final Fantasy game. I'm sorry, it does to me.
That's a good question.
Yeah, what you 13?
Say? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Had a great soundtrack. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, 10 is a word. Yeah.
10 was good.
Yeah.
10, like the Mount Gigazet was good. Actually, 10 had a great soundtrack, but Masashi did that too.
Yeah.
Like Mount Gigazet sound. Nabuo and Masashi did that one actually. And like Mount Gigazet, that's our theme. What was that? The Assault theme song. Seymour's theme went in. The final Seymour battle. All those went in. But yeah, Masashi.
13 soundtrack was really good.
13. Boy, Masashi Hamazo, dude, that motherfucker there can do a soundtrack, dog. Soundtrack.
But yeah, man, at first I was like, I don't like it. But then, as I remove my mind away from thinking old game and thinking new game, reimagine, then I started to go, okay. I started to like it for what it was.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, man, I wanted, like I said, I envisioned the older game remade, but now I had to think, okay, it is completely, like they say, it is a remake. It is not the, original
master.
Yeah, a lot of people got to pay attention to that title. When that motherfucker is a remake, it means more to it than just like that.
Remade, they remake, the whole thing. So once I got that, I was like, okay, I started to enjoy the game for what it was. All the nuances they added, bringing more depth to scenes that was shorter in the original, and doing like adding more character dialogue, adding more story background. So,
right. I think for me, like, I liked how ballsy they were. Like, they didn't just do a rehash and just gave us the same game. Because most of the people would have been fine with that. I appreciate them actually saying, no, you know what? We're going to shake things up a little bit. You're going to do something and give you something new. Because now it kind of gives you something to look forward to. Because you kind of like, okay. Because, other than that, you'd be like, well, I know what's going to happen in the next game. So it's a shock. But now you kind of like, yo, I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen. So I kind of can't wait to play the next one because it's like, I want to see what's going to happen, what's going to come from all this. And but I like the I love the way they did the story. The characters were amazing. They did a fantastic job on the characters, and the dialogue was all great. Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of something else that kind of blew me away. Music.
How easy it is to die.
Right. Yeah, the battle on there though. The battle system is probably the best I've ever played on RPG. Like, seriously, I'm that battle system has to become a staple in Final Fantasy games. Period. Like, I don't want to see it change. Like, it's perfect to me.
Talking about that.
I'm not a big fan of. I say I'm not a big fan of the aerial combat. I feel like they still need to work out the kinks to that. Like doing jumping, but other than that, I thought the battle system was just awesome, flawless.
Yeah, battle system was that battle system was on point. It was on point, and people like I try to tell people how they kind of took the way with this game. It's like they kind of did take a Final Fantasy 13 route with this game.
Yeah.
They definitely took a Final Fantasy 13 route with this game. How it's kind of you know, it's kind of linear. It's still kind of open. Like it's not really open world.
Right.
It's still kind of really like linear. Like, I mean, Final Fantasy. Every Final Fantasy game was linear until fucking. What was the first? Probably till 15. 15 probably was the first big open world Final Fantasy because well, you can't count kind of 12 was big too.
12 was
Yeah,
big.
12.
12 was big too.
12 was still more zones. Like
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what they're doing now because like even playing Dragon Quest is kind of broken up into these zones. It's not just it's like it's fully open world, but you have like these little areas it's broken down like that, which I think is what they're gonna probably end up doing when it comes to the open world. The next I'm calling it Rebirth. I think the next one gonna be called Rebirth.
What, talking about Final Fantasy?
Yeah, the remake.
Well, the way I had felt about it, like when it had first came out, I didn't give a fuck about how the game was gonna be anyway. You know how I am. I'm biased. I was like, yeah. So when the game came out, and when I was playing, I knew the gameplay was gonna be dope. It's so like to be honest, when I was playing with, it was fun. It was great. But nothing really like surprised me. I knew I was gonna like it anyway. So it wasn't no big surprise. Now the biggest thing, of course, was the route. How if anybody they ain't played it, if y'all ain't played it, now I don't know what the fuck. But like the way that they're taking the game now, they can do so much shit. There's so much stuff that you can do with the game, with the story, what you can do with the characters. Ain't no telling what they gonna do with that shit. It really ain't. But I definitely like the direction they taking with it, with the action. Now, I am curious to how they are going to, because Final Fantasy VII, when it got closer, it was linear till it got to a certain point. And then when it got to a certain point, that game got kind of big, especially when you're doing like super bosses and shit like this. So I'm kind of interested in how they going to do.
Yeah, Agent, it did limit me to 40 minutes, but it said that it's giving me a gift. It said that we gave you a gift on Zoom. The 40-minute cap has been released. I'm like, okay.
Right.
What did I do that special? I don't understand. But
you got a gift.
My bad, man. Go ahead.
Right.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how they're gonna do the super bosses, how they're gonna do the airship, because
definitely see that.
Yeah, because the remake, I mean, like the first one, shit, you see like it's linear straight through. It's like Final Fantasy 13 straight layout. Yeah. So I'm wondering how they're gonna definitely do it on the second and third disc. Because if they do it like how Final Fantasy 7 originally gonna be, it's not gonna be like 13, how 13 was in that layout that they have in the first game remake either. It's gonna be a different layout. So I'm interested to see how they gonna pull that off, because that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be a big ass game.
Yeah.
That's why I think. That's why I think I'm glad that with next gen, the next game is definitely gonna be for next gen. So.
Yeah. I agree. It's probably a lot easier to make with the next gen systems in mind. Like anyway, so.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I would too. The PlayStation,
it definitely has some flaws. It's not completely without its faults. I thought some of the quests could have been a little bit better. Some of the quests were kind of, a little fetch quests and other stuff like that. But
some of the quests were tedious quests
about the immersion of the story than anything. Right. So you kind of get over that. But I felt like some of the quests could have had a little more depth to them.
The thing I could like, cause I don't know, like they did the quest kind of like in classic Final Fantasy 13 style too, where you just go talk to somebody, do this shit, then come back. I've never been a big fan of how you do quests like that. But in Final Fantasy,
you play something like The Witcher, you feel like y'all can do a little bit.
That's a different style though. Like
but I'm just saying, like I just felt there could have been more. I felt like they could have tied it more into, like I felt like maybe they could have done some things where you could have had maybe Jesse or Wedge him in your party and went to go do like
what they could have done. But see, the thing is like they were so limited to how they could do quests because everything was in Midgard.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you really kind of limited to just, helping the populace of Midgard and the slums.
I just felt the
instead of-
missions could have had more depth to them. But
yeah, so
when the
because
game-
I remember people, because a lot of people telling me about that complaint too. That was also a complaint of mine, but I was like, shit. I mean, you really can't, you really can't do shit.
For nothing with the game. I didn't feel like just doing it. It was like, this game is trash.
Yeah, a lot of people were taking it overboard. I was like, nah, it ain't nothing that like break the. That's why it's good that gameplay was like. That's why it's good that gameplay was like on spot on. You could tell they put a lot of work into the gameplay.
Oh yeah.
Of the game,
Yeah.
like they put a lot of work.
Yeah,
They put a lot of work into the story too. Like you could tell the story and the gameplay. They put a lot of work into both of those. Now that's why I'm like. It's got me crazy thinking because I remember playing through all those compilations of the game and wondering like, what the fuck? Like, what are you going to do? Especially like with Crisis Core, man. Like, dude, Crisis Core and Crisis Core and that remake, those two. Like, I told everybody before that remake come out, at least play Crisis Core. At least play Crisis Core.
Yeah, it'd make more sense.
Yeah, at least play that game.
You can also die like a mud on this game too.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was saying. Like, I didn't you die quite a bit, and I guess it's refreshing because knowing how the game is supposed to go, you probably would have just flew through it if it was like a complete remake. But the fact that you're like, no, like you really need to practice. You might want to dodge. Right.
Break them enemies and start staggering them. That's also a Ref 13 as well, because you have to stagger them and break their armor and beat the shit out of them, and it was in 13.
You know what? I remember that boss when you got Aerith, and you don't have but Cloud, and it was like a quest boss where you had to fight that thing with the cannonball arm, the chain arm, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Oh, talking about that big, the one that had like a shit ton of health.
Yeah, it had a bunch of health, but it had like that big metal ball for an arm. So
you had to break him.
Yeah.
But you only got Aerith and Cloud, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And you got to dodge with her, but if she take one hit, she's like at like 2 health.
It was quite refreshing.
Has anybody else like fought Bahamut? Because I didn't do that yet.
Not yet. I need to go back through. I'm trying to see if they're gonna do
like a remake, like a PS5 upgrade.
Yeah, do a definitive edition or something like that. But I want to go back through. I need to go. I'm doing some hard mode stuff. I've done some, but not everything. But I need to go back through everything.
Yeah, because I started the hard mode missions. I did like a couple of them. I ain't never go back and I need to go back and actually 100% that shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it before, especially before the next one come out. I just was trying to see if they're gonna do, because there's a rumor that they got some Tifa DLC. They cut out a whole part that had like Tifa doing like something on her own that led to her being in the back of that cart going to see Don Cornell.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like they say it was like a whole thing with her that you use with her, kind of like how you did Barrett on that mission when he's underground.
Mm-hmm.
And they say it's kind of like, but this is like a Tifa thing, and it's rumored that it's gonna probably be something that they release when they do like a PS5 upgrade and everything like that. So I've been trying to see if that's gonna be the case, because I don't want to start doing it, and then it's like, oh, well, here go this, and you're like, bro.
Yeah, it is something that is still missing quite from the original, and I guess the turn-based strategy portion of it. I know it's kind of action oriented, so you kind of have to think a little bit quicker. But it was always kind of refreshing to kind of sit back and go, okay, let me see how I want to do this.
Yeah, well, they did have that mode where you can just you can do a turn-based style on that game.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can switch it to. It's not as fun.
It's not like it doesn't have that nostalgia like the other one where even though it was, you can still act.
what I'm gonna do. This motherfucker may kill me.
Right, yeah. So it's
Like,
like, okay, should I throw a potion? No, I can't do a potion.
They made some
Okay.
great screenshots though, man. Like when you pause the screen, they be doing that slow motion move.
Yeah.
Oh my god, like, it was so clean. I did it one time when Tifa is in the middle of that combo that she does, and she was coming down with the heel kick, and it was like going in slow motion. You can see the dude like the foot hitting his face.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
But
doing
other
that little
than
stop motion thing. Unfortunately, like
so what's something that you dislike about the game?
Man,
Next,
you know what? Let me not say it. Like everything, man.
Date.
Right. I was like, how long it took to come out. I would say
you can just say one if you don't want to.
one thing that I dislike, like I would say, it goes back to the first thing, not really understanding what remake means as opposed to, you know.
I got you.
That would be my one thing, because that's the one thing that would caught me off guard, is just not really paying attention when I'm thinking remake. Okay, cool. No, remake is different than remade. You know, remake is literally what it is. It's a remake, reimagining. So it's gonna be completely different.
Right.
I would say I didn't like that part, or at least, you know, going through the process. But I was gonna still play it because I was a fan and I collect. You know, I was gonna go through it, but at the time it took me quite a bit to get around to finally enjoying it. And by the time it was towards the, you know, the middle of the game where I was like, okay, well, let me go back and, you know, do a little bit more than I was doing at first. Because at first I was just kind of, you know, going through, you know, but then, you know, once I'm like, okay, remove that remake, cool, then it was enjoyable, at least for me.
Man, I thought that was your leg right there on the camera. I was like, this dude got too comfortable.
Oh man, this one.
Right, like the little thing. I thought.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, it looked like I'm sitting like this. This is the couch, man.
Oh, dude, you getting? My boy got a little too comfortable.
Right, like yeah. So like I was saying, no, that's the arm of the couch.
Oh man.
Or my recliner.
All right, so now we're gonna push it a little bit. And...
Wait, hold on, cuz I gotta say what I dislike.
Oh, I thought you did. My bad. My bad. I thought you because you gotta mix it up.
It kind of was like with the side quest thing, but as far as like disliking it, shit, I ain't really like find anything that I dislike. Now some of the many
you don't find many faults in Final Fantasy though, Chris.
Yeah, I don't like. There's not too many things like I like dislike about. I mean, like,
what don't find no fault.
I think
they could put like a rat in the party, and Chris be like, "Yo, that man,
that rat was fire.
That rat was fire, boy.
Look at that whisker, man.
Oh, he uses whiskers like ninja stars, bro.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm finna fucking.
Oh boy, love Final Fantasy, man.
But I'll say like, yeah, definitely some of them like, well, I ain't had no problem with the mini games either. They were annoying, but
yeah.
I wish they had more of them. I thought they were like great.
Yeah, I'll say like kind of, but after, you know what? After I beat the game though, now the one thing they did, like, it was drop. Actually, like, so when I'm playing through the game, now I was releasing it in parts. That was the one thing that was like going like irk me kind of about the game. I was like, damn, they releasing it in parts. But after I beat it, I was like, actually after I played it, after going through the game, I was like, damn, so that's why this game is made in parts.
They didn't do it in parts, man. We've been waiting 10 years on that game.
Yeah. So I was like, but no, if they we gonna like if they did I see the reason they did it in parts because and that may also have something to do with the remake of the story too, why they doing it in parts as well. So, but yeah, I understand why they doing it in parts. So I ain't really have anything too many gripes with the game.
No. Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna push it a little bit. What did you think of the ending?
Oh man. It's so many thoughts, man. It's like where, I mean, they can go so many directions. It's just where they're gonna go.
Yeah.
Like where they gonna go.
That's pretty
it's like,
much all it is. Like, what direction are they gonna take with the game? And like,
what did you think overall? Like, what did you think? Did you go? I don't like this, man. I'm with it, or you just like, hey, this is all right. I want to see what's happening next.
I just said, like, man, like I was surprised. I was like, man, I'm with it though. Let's see what's like. Y'all can. There's a lot of shit y'all can do with this now. I was just like when I seen it, I'm like, okay. I like people just started coming up with shit, man. Like it really made you think about like the previous game and like what they doing now. Cause I know that shit tied in with the previous the game as well. I know like that shit has happened before, especially when they were showing the cutscenes in the middle of the fight of the old game and shit like oh damn they happened in the old game. So what the fuck they
sprinkles of the compilation within in the remake. It's little sprinkles of different things and music.
Yeah.
Some of the music like there's music from having children in there. And, it's if you know your stuff anyway, you'll be able to catch some of it.
It's so many things because one of the things that me personally that I hope for, as far as what they do with this game, since they already showed Zach, and then supposedly he's supposed to be alive, is that him, Cloud, and Sephiroth actually face off against the new main threat because everybody thinking that Sephiroth was the main threat, but you gotta think about it, Sephiroth was never really like a bad guy.
Right.
That nigga, he just went crazy.
A lot of people think that what the things I'm seeing lately, a lot of the stuff is shifting to some Crisis Core stuff. A lot of people think that Minerva is gonna be like, well,
if they put Angel in there, or not Angel, what's the other boy?
Minerva, but they think Minerva is gonna be using Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis.
You said Minerva. Who the fuck is that?
You said on Crisis Core when you go down to deal with Genesis and the lady with the like gold armor on and everything down fighting her.
I don't remember what. Let me see what she looked like.
Yeah, I'm surprised you don't remember. Yeah, but they think that Minerva in the game she heals Genesis and sends him back. Like so he goes to her, he's like, oh, this that about the goddess all the time, and she actually heals him of his
Oh, she was a boss.
Yeah,
I do not remember this shit. I remember her, but I don't remember fighting her.
You fight her.
Yeah, it'd be nice to bring him back because he just kind of goes, like if you follow Crisis Core, and it's kind of like, well, where do they go after this? And it's just.
I think they were trying to use Genesis to set up like a secret.
Oh yeah, she was a super boss. That's why I barely remember her. She was a super boss. Okay.
But a lot of people think that she's like.
Yeah, I died on this shit.
Gonna be in the background bringing.
Be nice to put him and Kadaj, bring all of it together.
I can see them bringing Kadaj, because they got all all them number people. I can see them bringing like them remnants of Genova.
Yeah, I can see the boys coming. I can see the trio.
They show scenes of them fighting.
Yeah.
They show scenes of them fighting Cloud. So I can definitely see them coming back. I can see a lot of people from just the whole compilation coming back.
The rumor is that the three things you fight at the end, that I forget the three.
Talking about the little fate bringer thing you do.
Fates, that's Kadaj and his crew.
So they had their weapons, and that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, I saw a theory about that they had their weapons. I did see that. Yeah.
And one of them was named what it was their weapons the moves that they did. It was one of the moves that I think the one with the guns did. It was a move that was the name of the gun or something like that Yazoo had. One of the guns that he had, like Rose Velvet, something like that. It was like a Crimson Velvet. I forget what it was called. I can't think of it now. Why would it
I
scare
really think that Sephiroth is gonna be like a fucking a good guy this go around.
you?
That'd be nice. That'd
So
actually
this
be
is
nice.
I already told TC, I was like, hey
I'm gonna
dude,
throw a theory at y'all. This is one of my theories. And this is something I felt after I watched so many theory videos and other things, and I put together my own thoughts. And I'm like, this is my theory. I think this whole entire time that
It was red hair.
boy,
it was Angel. I mean, no, it was Genesis.
Teddy Jones, what's it? Red
Man.
herring, man.
Hey.
God, that show was so funny. With red herring for no reason.
Dude, I have no idea where to fucking go in this game.
But I think the whole entire time we have not been fighting Sephiroth. I think that this has been Genova's entire time. I think Genova's in control. I think that because if you pay attention to Sephiroth was not a bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already said, you know, I already said that.
And I do think he probably got twisted a little bit by things that he read and stuff like that. But I also think that in that twist, I think the Genova cells in his body, I think she was at the in his mind and makes him do his will. And I just feel like, and then if you look at the game, I feel like all the stuff that was happening was all Genova. The cat eyes and everything that he had on the he was like a fucking eyes looked just like her. And I was like, what is happening right now? But then when you get to that the age of creation, at the end of the game, he's like talking to Cloud, he's like, your strength. He's not even trying to fight. He didn't want to fight. And it's only when Cloud picked up his sword, he's like, okay, well, I'll entertain you. But then he was so like nonchalant in that fight that he not pull Cloud's sword out of his hand and had the perfect chance to.
Wait, who you talking about? Sephiroth?
Yeah. At the very end, because I think that was the real Sephiroth that was at the edge of creation. I think that was like the Sephiroth, but I think everything you fought up to that point has been all Genova.
No, I know. Yeah, you already know. I think I say Genova is like the main threat. She's always been the main threat, bro. So I just feel like and Sephiroth seen it, and so I think he really trying to come back. You know what? Genova is his main threat.
I think everything he's been doing. Everything like we talked to Cloud and the edge of creation was giving you a strength and you can defy destiny. I think that was him trying to say, bro, help stop her. Like, and he just, words, because you got to set up the sequel.
Oh, yeah. I
feel like it's going to probably end up, because you look at Crisis Core, you have Angel, Genesis, Sephiroth, like a trio. And I think if you look Jack is a lot like Sephiroth and Cloud in some ways mimics Genesis. And I feel like it's another trio, and I can see them ones having to stop and over in the end. Yeah, definitely why I think the second is going to be called Rebirth. I think it's actually going to end with her coming back. Like her real form, her true.
Excuse me. I don't know. I mean, like I said, my dream is to see freaking Zack come back, Cloud, and Sephiroth. And then who that remind you of the three? Like it'd be like Sephiroth, Angel, and Genesis back when they was the three crew. That's what I'm thinking they trying to lead it back up to this time around.
So what are you most excited for in the next game? Like what's the number one thing that you're excited to see when it comes to the rest of the series or this next game?
I'm ready to see what they do with Vincent. That's why I'm ready to see what they do with Vincent.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people
ready to see what they do with Vincent. Of course, I'm excited about the other characters too, but I'm really excited to see what they do with Vincent.
You know, now that Vincent, like, you gotta have all that background for him now, and now he's not like he's not an optional companion. Vincent has like a very integral story to the plot. Like,
But like I said, he may still be optional though. They may still keep that authentic to the game. So,
like Red 13 was.
They have way too much lore for Vincent to keep him optional.
Yeah. But I don't know. It depends on, like I said, depends on how what the layout gonna be.
Dirge automatic kills that too, because why make a whole game for an optional character?
Yep.
Dirge kills that. So I'm interested. I want to see Yuffie, and I want to see if they're gonna actually bring in Kate Sith, like
I see. Yeah, they definitely gonna bring in that.
No way he was on top of the thing.
Oh, now I am interested in see how they do super bosses and all the rest of the summons too, especially Knights of the Round.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Knights around. I definitely got to see how they're gonna pull that off.
Cause like, what they gonna do? Have them just jump all over the field all the way?
Right.
Pretty much. I mean, look at everything else. Look at all the other summons.
But see, they were, man, like, you see how big, like, dude, like, the last night was huge. So I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna have like one night come in, then another night, because that'll be a long, like the cutscene was long. So I'm like, how y'all gonna have,
they probably gonna have an option. I wouldn't be surprised they put an option there to kind of
shorten it up.
Yeah, you can catch the cutscenes stuff.
Well, to shoot the summons stay on the field now. So I'm like, they gonna have 20 people on the field.
That would be epic.
Yeah, they're gonna have 12. They're gonna have 12 nights on the field, and then all of different sides.
Have to dumb them down though. They're gonna have to. Unless the level cap is like super high, but like some of the enemies and stuff in the game, they're gonna have to dumb the knights down because that's gonna be way too powerful. Them dudes sitting out there for like an extended 5 minutes, chopping everything.
They're gonna be hard to get to because they was hard to get.
Yeah, I would imagine it'll be like one of the hardest summons to get if they do.
I wonder if they still gonna do the same chocobo thing. Now, I'm also interested if they gonna do chocobos. Are they gonna have the same thing how they did chocobos, where you had the blue chocobo that can run on water,
right,
and the gold chocobo that can run every fucking where?
They're gonna cut some of that stuff. I have a feeling
remake.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're gonna do that too. They're gonna cut some of that too.
Remake.
So the thing I'm a bit most excited for is how they're gonna do the weapons. How are those fights gonna go?
Oh yeah, the super bosses, yeah.
They might take them out, I would think. I mean, it's a remake, so those was extra.
Yeah, but the weapons are part of the they're part of Gaia. They are part of like the whole.
It was that one cutscene, but like you fight one of them, but the other two, they were just.
But I'm talking about the weapons are actually they're embedded in the lore.
Yeah, but
to be honest with you, they may redo the design of the weapons.
Yeah.
The planet created the weapons to stop Genova when she first came.
Remake, remember? That's why I'm like, they probably take it in a whole different direction.
They may restyle the way they do the weapons. They may make them look totally different.
Yeah. Much smaller.
They might be like humanoid type dudes, like that you might.
You know what? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. But I don't know, man. I actually think that they should keep them the same. It's just that I think they ought to have a like you know how when you fight what's the thing? Like when you
I don't know, Ruby weapon was pretty fucking big.
Yeah.
When you fight the Genova synthesis or when you fight like the Hell House, like there's a certain way you have to take them down.
Yeah.
I think that's how they ought to have the weapon fights. The weapon fights should be like, you know, them, but you gotta take them down like piece by piece or part by part and have like this huge battle.
Hey, dog, be on real. It's gonna be like that because those weapons are just fucking big. So yeah. I mean, it depends on how they do it. I mean, like, because like the last boss was like fucking huge too. They probably gonna be kind of like that. Yeah. Which with me personally, it depends. I really don't like bosses like that sometimes when they got like pieces like that. But I don't mind it. I hope like
my favorite like sectional type of thing. You know, like on Final Fantasy X when you had to fight Sin, you had to fight like different pieces and move to this part and
different pieces of Sin. Yeah. I hate bosses like that. I can't stand bosses like that. Like my favorite type of bosses is definitely like the one-on-one fights, or like all the fights with the Turks. And like,
Yeah, the Turks that was a pretty dope fight.
Yeah, those fights with the Turks and then the 4 Sephiroth fight.
That was epic.
Yeah, I like those fights like that. So, you know, they may have more original characters because that one fucking soldier dude that was in the remake, that nigga wasn't in the first game.
Oh yeah, they said Roach is coming back. He's coming back. I just want to see them do like all the Turks and bring all of them, like Cisne and all those ones. Like I just want to see everybody coming in. You know, you got some sort of dealings with everybody.
I feel like when we was talking about Kadaj and the other remnants or whatever, I feel like those are going to be fights.
Those would be fights. Those would be really great fights, actually. Those would be good. I think another thing. I feel like another theory I had was I thought that Rufus might be in some sort of relation to Cloud. I don't know why. I just got this weird feeling.
You say you think what now?
I was like, man, like they just kind of favor each other on here to me. Like I don't know what it is. It just struck me like that.
What characters you talking about?
Rufus.
Oh, Rufus and who?
Remember how like and then the Shinra mansion is in Cloud's hometown. Okay, remember the Shinra mansion is there. So President Shinra lived there in Nibelheim for a minute. And then Cloud was born. They never talk about Cloud's father. They never. They just like his father's like went away and never came back or something like that. But they never talk about Cloud's father. And then Shinra like abandons the house and just leaves this mansion there. And then, you know, Rufus is over here. And I'm just kind of looking like, what if Shinra was there at that point in time, smashed Cloud's mom and was like, I got a son. And he was like, I'm out. And just never really cared. He seemed like the type of dude that would do it. Blonde hair. I was just like, what if that's Cloud's pops, man? And, you know, he just was a bit of a love child. And, or, you know, Shinra just made a move on the mom, you know. It ain't out of the realm of possibility. But I just think it's really weird how, you know, Rufus could see the whispers at the end. And you know, he could see them and nobody else could. I thought that was really strange. Like he could see him, you know, Cloud could see him. Cloud saw him after Aerith touched him. Maybe he's related to Aerith. Maybe Afana had another child.
But couldn't everybody that was mainly involved see the whispers?
I mean, I know everybody that touched Aerith could see him, but that's what I'm saying. Rufus didn't come into contact with Aerith. Everybody who was within the vicinity of Aerith or touched Aerith could see him. But Rufus never came into contact with Aerith at all. But he could naturally see him because remember the Turks couldn't see him. Like a song was with him, he couldn't see him. Rude. None of them could see the spirits and I mean I'm talking about spirits, the whispers. And but at the very end, that's something weird, and they showed that for a reason. You know, I don't know if he related to Aerith. Like I said, maybe her mom, maybe Shinra and her mom got together or something, or he made a move on her or something, and she was held at gunpoint. I don't know. SVU got involved. I don't know. It's
SVU.
I'm just saying, dog. But I mean, what if he's half ancient? You know, it could be. Because I just thought that's very weird that he could see him the way like he just everybody else was looking at him like he was crazy. Like, what are you looking at? But he could see everything that was going on. I think he's gonna be a major player in the game now. I don't think he's just gonna be that dude that's just in the background, and then one day the weapons shoot a cannon and the cannon come through and blow it up, and then
Rufus was always major though.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I think he's gonna be way more prominent than even he was in the first game. Way more.
Like how so?
I mean, I don't know how. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how. I just feel.
I mean, like he was pretty. Like after that weapon blew up that building, you thought he was dead. You ain't really see what
Right.
There was no way he should have been saved. Like there was no way he should have made it out of there alive.
Yeah, so yeah, everybody thought he was dead when he got blasted in there until Abby and Tilda came out. Oh, Rufus is alive. So
he survived without a scratch on him. Just got geo stigma. I'm just like, come on, man.
Now
get out that building, bro. How you get out?
I'm definitely interested in see how they do Hojo because Hojo is definitely a key villain.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Hojo is definitely.
Hojo, I'm really interested to see how they do him because he's really the main villain in Final Fantasy VII, in my opinion. At least as far as outside of Genova, he was kind of like the villain.
Yeah, but Hojo's after the proto material.
Yeah.
Even after it way back then. That's what he was after because didn't he invade Weiss's body in Dirge?
Did he? I don't know. Shit, I can't remember. It's been so long since I played that shit.
Body in Dirge and ended up being like the final boss in Dirge. He took over Weiss's body, trying to get that proto material to become basically a god. Like I'm pretty sure he still has the same ambitions as that. So
he's an asshole. Yeah, he was an asshole. I was an asshole character, man.
Let me see. We theory crafted a little bit there.
Did your 40 minutes go? Did they stop the recording?
Yeah, how long the recording is now?
It's still going. I told you they said it was 40 minutes, but
well, how many minutes has it been?
I don't even know. They had a message saying there's no time.
Oh, I mean, we've been talking like for at least about 50 minutes.
2 an hour.
They said on the thing, they said we're giving you a gift. The 40 minute thing won't happen. You can just keep streaming.
About to upload a 2-hour video.
I mean, the hell with it.
Yeah.
I've seen
that bitch gonna take a long time to upload.
Right.
Well, I gotta upload a 2-hour video. I just finished Devil May Cry 5 on Legendary Dark Knight.
Yeah, that was a dude that did a video talking about the game. He did like a 5-hour video. I was like, damn.
I don't watch that shit. I put that shit on repeat and then fall asleep on it.
Right.
I listen to a lot of those things though.
I try to listen to as much as I like until I fall asleep.
At the yard, I listen to some.
But I did have like this 2-hour video I did for Devil May Cry. I was just like, man, let me just go ahead and beat this Legendary Dark Knight. I did some clean ass shit in that video too. That's gonna be a dope video to watch.
Your favorite character? Why?
Favorite character? Damn, I have no
Sephiroth, always.
Only two.
From jump.
Two.
So you said I know yours.
Name Sephiroth. So.
Right. Always.
My favorite character, she is the baby right here. Lady right there.
I think I know 2 reasons why.
Right.
No, one. Hey, it ain't even that reason. Tifa is that. Tifa is that character, dog. Like that's that. She was that chick. Like she was there. She was one of those characters that was in the background and still had everybody back in the background. And like, nigga, she was willing to face off against Sephiroth. She had to.
That's true. She got heart. Man,
See, Tifa that loyal chick that I can't have, man. Like, dude, I love Tifa. That she's for what? And then she box. I like boxing characters. I love characters that fight with their hands.
Yeah. Adrian watched that for a while.
Why they didn't put her in fucking Tekken?
Man, yeah, that is true. She'd be awesome in Tekken.
She'd be good in Tekken, man.
Man, for me, Sephiroth, like when he came on the stage, like he didn't even say much. You know, when he showed up, he was just, yeah, bat 5,000. I was like, oh, automatic, he cold from jump, like from jump.
Oh, I might have to change mine.
Right.
Cloud's like Slash. He's like one.
He's like
Slash. 5,008.
I was like, yeah.
I take back. So I actually have 2 favorite characters in 7. I actually had so Zach and Tifa. Zach and Tifa.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, because Zach,
For me, it's only
Crisis Core, dude. Crisis Core was my shit, and Zach is just that's my nigga. Zach is dope.
Zach is the ultimate hero. Like he's just that dude. He's badass in Crisis Core.
Zach and Tifa were just loyal, man. They just loyal characters. And then they were just dope ass characters.
Man, Sephiroth was cold though, man.
I love Cloud's story, the pain and everything, and how he had to overcome all that, and then to overcome the fact that his life ain't even his life. That he thinks it is, and I just think that that's dope, and like to give him that growth, so he has to like find himself and then be a totally brand new man after that.
I like Cloud better in the remake. I didn't like Cloud in the original.
Yeah, he's a little more human in the remake. You get a little bit more depth to who he is.
A lot more depth in the remake.
Yeah.
That's because we all know Cloud, you know, ever since Advent Children, you know, he had, even in Advent Children, he had more depth in the remake than he did in Advent Children, I think.
Yeah. Well, they decided to bring it out. I mean, they had to bring all of it out. And plus with graphics nowadays, you can see expressions, you can see things that you can't always see with the blocky, the block area. Yeah. And then you're reading and it's kind of like you making your own interpretation of what you're reading when you see, you know, the words come on the screen.
Apart, man. I think it's so hard to grasp the concept of what he was because how ripped apart he was. And then you got Advent Children. He was so guilt ridden for everything. Like he was just it was so much weighing on him. But you can't lie and say he wasn't just the ultimate badass. Like especially when he got on his shit, he was on his shit.
I know Cloud was definitely. Cloud always be a badass. I still don't like. He's still like as far as like protagonist, he'll probably be like. He up there with like my favorite protagonist. My favorite Final Fantasy protagonist is definitely Cecil though, Final Fantasy 4. But he's up there though. He's definitely.
Well, I wonder how they're gonna do Sid.
Sid was a cool ass character though. Sid was like, even though he was like kind of like because Barrett was comic relief too, but Sid was a dope ass character. And I like as for Sephiroth though, who made Sephiroth Sephiroth. I started liking. I really didn't really care for Sephiroth too much in the original game, but when I played Crisis Core, Sephiroth I started liking Sephiroth a lot more, Because in the original game, I just felt like Sephiroth was just killing everybody, and you know, and then like, what is your purpose? What are you doing? Until actually you found out what happened with him in his background, you felt sorry for Sephiroth. But when I played Crisis Core, I actually saw Sephiroth's personality and that he had friends and he was loyal too. Yeah, that's when I started liking Sephiroth a little bit more.
Well, let me ask y'all: do y'all still think Aerith is gonna die? Y'all still think?
No.
Yeah, she probably still may die.
I don't know. Well, at least I know if they do like two versions on the Zack side, she definitely gonna live.
Now I got a question about the thing about Aerith though, like I don't know, can she be trusted?
What make you think that?
Because dude, she knows a lot more than she lets on, of course. Everybody's seeing it.
Right, but she's never done anything that would kind of indicate that she's bad or that she's doing it.
I mean, she knows though. She knows the future.
Right.
So we don't know what Aerith thinking. She know the future. She know what's gonna happen. So like at any point in time, like I don't since Aerith knows everything that's going on. It's no telling what they can do with that character.
I agree.
Ain't no telling what they can do with that character, man.
What if she ends up becoming like possessed by Genova? That would be dope.
That'd be weird. Or she ends up getting possessed by Minerva, because you know Minerva. You were saying Minerva.
Yeah, with Minerva, like, you know. I feel like Aerith
she is an ancient.
I feel like she has. Never know. I feel like there's a reason for it. And I mean, I think letting her live is just, I don't know.
I think they're gonna change it a little bit. Because I know it was
an original theory I thought was, what if Zack shows up and then Zach is like taking over in some type of way, and then he's the one that ends up killing her. I thought that would
that'd be,
yeah,
That'd be sad.
right.
cut like the heartstrings, right?
That'd be sad. They did that.
No,
But I
Right.
still feel like that that's gonna end up being like I'm sticking with Sephiroth becoming the good guy this time around. I'm sticking with that.
yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
think that's gonna
I just
happen.
I feel like he never really showed that he was a bad guy in any way. I think he just
No, because the whole time in all the events
he was taking over.
after
That was it.
yeah, all the events after Nibelheim was all revenge.
Yeah.
All that was all revenge.
Yeah, no, but what if it wasn't even that? Maybe he just was period point blank taking over.
Or taking over, or just because he did went mad because he was reading them books and shit, so he could have just gotten taken over. But I don't know. I don't know if the Genova cell completely took over him because Sephiroth was able to control that shit. So I don't know if it got taken over.
You can even look at Cloud and Remake. There are some differences in the way the character was in Remake versus the old game, because remember the part where he got Johnny in the very beginning with Tifa? He was like willing to kill Johnny because he was talking.
Who was?
Yeah, he was like, "What about them?" And she was like, "You staring at me, like, you know." And I'm like, maybe those Nova cells at work, like, you know. And you could easily say that, you know, what if it just took over Sephiroth's mind? I'm not saying that he wasn't unable to control, but we are talking about an alien species, right?
Yeah. They never really see. That's another thing. They did show a lot of history of Genova and the ancients in this in that little holographic CG cutscene.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that I like, that they showed the ancients, that like they at least gave you a little bit of an idea about what it was like. But I feel like in this next game they have got to show like a CG cutscene of like
I be hearing shit
actually showing up on Earth and what happened.
You're right.
Like by now we deserve that. After going through all that, because you never get to see that. You hear about it, you never get to actually see what she did when she came. And I'm down for that. I want to see what she looked like. I want to see what she did. I want to see how she went about it. I want to see all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna show that when they reach that ancient city.
Yeah, because they've been showing everything else. So
yeah. I'm pretty because they didn't show that in the first game. They never show. They may have talked about it, but they ain't really show like no cutscene or like even no 3D models of like Genova actually coming down to Earth.
Yeah,
right.
But see, that's what I want to see. I want to see how that whole thing went about. I want to see.
That was a whole war. They was fighting, like the ancients was fighting her.
That's what
that was a whole war.
I want to see it. I want to see.
Because she's supposed to be female. They may have it end up where like Genova and like a big battle between Genova's warriors and Minerva's warriors, and they clash or some shit like that.
Man. I don't know. It could. Like I said, it can go so many ways, and it could be dope.
Yeah,
it could end up being something ridiculous, and then Sora show up. And
the most I can tell you the most excited
man,
thing
what the
most excited thing I'm definitely most excited for.
Here to help, guys.
The thing I'm most excited for is definitely seeing if Sephiroth's gonna become a good guy. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing I'm definitely most excited for.
A lot of people think that would be like barf material.
Really?
Yeah, it's a few people that feel that way. I've seen on podcasts like that. Like, what if Sephiroth's a good guy? And people are like, oh God, Sephiroth is so good at being bad and all this stuff. Like,
he is.
He is good at being bad. Yeah. But see, like, was that really Sephiroth though? That wasn't really Sephiroth.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Crisis Core, Crisis Core put him in a, you see him in a different light. You see him a little bit more like, that's the top soldier and looking out for
as a hero and him having friends, dude.
Right.
That nigga was like,
he didn't have a bad bone. He didn't have a bad bone.
Nah, he cared for Angel and Genesis. That dude had feelings.
He really did.
So, like people who saying that garbage. So I'm like, man, I don't know what they talking about. like. Cause like, dude, like people like those people that saying that probably didn't play Crisis Core.
Right.
Last question. Zach, what the hell's going on right there with Zach being alive?
Oh, we already know, man. You know, that's now that goes to
A lot of people think it's multiple timelines. Some people
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's it could be multiple timeline, or like what I think is like once they killed once they destroyed the Arbiter of Fate, that erased whatever happened in the original Final Fantasy.
Right. But some people think that, the timelines are converging. Some people think that Dak is not really alive, that it's like something that's happening at another point in time, and you're going to get to see that. And pull out the gummies, man. That's cold blooded, bro.
Hey, man. That's how we do it, man. It's my cheat day.
And gummies is what you got?
All I got.
Hey, dog. With the snacking, bro. With the snacking. As soon as I get off this chat, we can go snack.
I thought a cool opening for the next game would be it started off just like the first one, but this time instead of Cloud jumping off the train, is Zach. I thought that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, what the hell?
Right.
That'd be a good trailer. Good trailer opening.
It was in the place of Cloud meeting Barrett and all those people.
Hey, with the second game, you start off playing with Zach's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start off with like that part with him and Zach and Cloud on that cliff. You start off from there.
I don't know. That seemed like a little too soon. What if you like living his life? Like you're in the middle of his life after he actually made it back to Aerith, and
well, what is it?
Cloud is like a totally different dude. That's just like,
well, because they leaving Midgar.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got a point.
They leaving Midgar, so that maybe they going to the point to where Zach going to Midgar now. Did Zach have Cloud on his own?
He gotta start off in calm. That scene of going to calm was so iconic because that's when you first get to play as Sephiroth, and I gotta see Sephiroth like in action.
Yeah.
You getting to play with him in that battle system, even that little bit in the memory of Cloud, or what Cloud thinks is his memory.
6,000.
Yeah, I have,
right up.
Like that's such an iconic scene. So they gotta start it off with that. And everybody else is also theorizing that what if in the middle of the night, when you're in calm, that's when Yuffie steals your material. And that's how you kind of roll into meeting Yuffie.
That trick.
Nigga, my damn, this Final Fantasy 2, I'm so lost, nigga, and I got killed. What in this game? I'm gonna have to look it up tomorrow. I just been sitting at the freaking character menu. But I did die by the turtles, the damn turtles.
I should be over. I should be over there playing my my video games. Y'all still gaming? I'm up here, really trying to be dedicated to this.
Stop for a minute.
To this talk.
Oh, hey. It was good talk. It was pretty cool. We had like you said, you pick a day to do it.
Yeah.
And we were streaming.
Well, I mean, I don't have any more questions. Anything y'all want to add?
We all pretty much aficionados when it comes to that Final Fantasy 7. So if it was anybody in the chat, I'd ask them. I don't think anybody in the chat. I think I got one other person in here. That's why I want to stream it to get any other people involved in the conversation.
Right.
For real.
Yeah. It's just I have no idea how to do that on
somebody just joined. Now we got 3 people in the conversation about the end.
Tell us tune in next week.
Yeah, well, at least it's archived, so if they want to go back and rewatch it, and
next time on Dragon Ball Z.
What'd you say?
What are they saying in the chat?
Ain't nobody saying nothing now. They just watching.
Oh, just watching the chat.
Yeah, I know one of them probably like me because I'm in there, but there's 2 other people in here. I don't know who they is. Well, somebody left. Whoever that one person was. Not unless it was y'all. You still in my chat, Adrian?
Let me see. No. Well, let me. No, I haven't been following it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know who this person is. They ain't talking. But yeah, that was dope though. That was dope. Of course, I'm always be playing Final Fantasy when we had like these, and I like the little background things that we got. That's cool.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was pretty fun. I hate my camera being down here. I need my camera.
Yeah, you need to move your camera.
My camera.
Man, get you a mic.
Yeah, why don't you get that app where you can use your phone as a external camera?
Or next time I can just use my phone.
Yeah, there's an app that you can put to your computer where your camera will be. Your phone will be your camera, and you can put it wherever you want, and it'll stream on there. I forgot what it's called, but I remember when we was getting our classes together, some teacher was like, "Yeah, I'm having trouble finding where to put my camera," and she told us to get this app that allowed it to use your phone as like a webcam.
Well, I'm gonna stop the stream.
Like I'm a I guess stop the recording. I'm gonna see if I can
yeah, people getting up in here late. God dog, everybody.
What? How many people joined?
No, 4 at one point.
Let me see.
We can do a roast session. Is that?
Yeah, next time it's just I announce it that like when we have a scheduled time when we can do it. That way we can get people in, and then we can get other people involved as well.
Like, kick them out the classroom.
Yeah. That way they can like ask questions because like people like this shit. They're like asking questions and talking, putting their input. Yeah, and putting their input in there. That's why I want to stream it. That way you can get other people involved.
Anybody have a question? Feel free to ask. You right here.
Yeah, because
anybody got none. I mean,
they probably jump on later. I'm looking at your Twitch. See if anybody was looking at it. Not yet. It'll take a minute.
Yeah. See, it's down to like one person now. And that's me or Adrian.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I was checking. I'm like, let's see who all jumped on.
That's cool.
Oh, they show the names of people who jump in.
I'm gonna finna see what I can do with this video. I'm gonna hit y'all on the PS5 chat thing.
Oh man, I'm gonna go to sleep, man.
Yeah, man. It's late, man.
Oh, y'all you out?
I'm gonna go to sleep. Adrian probably be up. I'm gonna go to sleep though.
Yeah, I miss Saturday Night Live, man.
Good talk though.
That's what's up.
All right.
Same time, same channel.
Yeah, that way we can schedule it.
The TC Gaming Show. The Chris and
Adrian. Killing me with that shit.
I'm telling you, that's gonna catch on, and I want my royalties when it do. It's gonna catch on, and y'all gonna be like, man, that is probably the best intro.
Somebody gonna be like,
Adrian was right, man.
Right. Think about Andy Milonakis. I was like, man, I used to hate that song, but that shit was catchy.
That's funny.
Next time I'll put my Sephiroth
live on. Next time we'll try to do it where we have a little chat and everything. I see that. That's dope.
All day, baby.
Oh, you talking about on that software I was telling you about?
Yeah, I'm talking about doing like a chat next time. Like maybe we can find a way to do where we got a live streaming and then do like a chat thing through Facebook.
Oh, that was Brandon. Brandon had jumped in.
Oh,
that was Brandon?
Yeah, Kepka. He said Kepka is better than Final Fantasy 6.
Hey, Kepka was insane though, bro. You remember the laugh, the little three.
all right.
Our dude was tripping, man. Boy, destroyed the whole world and laughed about it. Just like, all right, I'm gonna stop this recording. Let me see.